This is Coogan Cassius for IFLTV. Right, let's have a little check on something. So, in order to, just so the viewers know, right, I started messaging you from Monday last week, since 6 days ago. I've sent you one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 messages until today. It's a,
Well,
it's a graft, isn't it?
yeah, but listen, since Netflix, everything's changed.
I cough.
Listen, you were lucky to get it tonight, to be honest with
To be
you.
honest, I
And
probably
I
like
landed in
them.
Riyadh about 4 or 5 hours ago, and I was like, I sent you a message going, maybe we'll do it tonight. And then I got here and I got called into a meeting. And now, just for reference, it's 5 to 11.
Yeah.
And I got back to the room and I just thought to myself, oh, I'm going to kip like a baby tonight. And I thought, oh my God, I've got to do a Zoom with Coogan. I'll be honest with you, anyone else, I would have gone, mate, sorry, like, let's do it another day. So,
Appreciate it, Edward, as always. Right. So, do you want to talk about Dubai first, or do you want to talk about why you're in Riyadh first? Which one?
I mean, arguably, none of it's your business. But no, look, we've actually had 2 weeks off, which has been lovely. Been, say, chilling out a little bit. But then, when was it? Thursday, I think. Had a chat with AJ earlier in the week, and as it's been quite well documented, it's kind of time to make some decisions, really. So I flew to Dubai, where he was training. Um, had a very pleasant couple of days there. Was looked after very well. Shout out to Umar Kamani as well, actually, for letting me use his gym. Um, and we had some really, really good meetings with AJ. Really positive. Went down, watched him train. He's training, pretty much to full capacity with obviously with his elbow that's now fully healed. And wants to know what the plan is. Wants to get moving. Coincided with a trip to Riyadh earlier today, and I'll be out here probably till Tuesday or something. And then before I head back to Europe. And yeah, I mean, obviously, we have one meeting tonight. I'm not, going to go into the meet, but yeah, of course, there'll be a conversation about AJ. But the trip here isn't just about AJ; it's about many different things. So, but you know, it's just interesting with the strategy in AJ. You just got to get it right now. Like I've said, this is kind of like one big last roll of the dice. Could be 18 months, could be 2 years. I don't know, but he wants to get active, and that's a really good thing. So you may see him sooner rather than later. That's all I'll say. But lots of options on the table, lots of cities to fight in, and he's just excited to fight again. And like I said, get active.
Right. Let's pick through the bones of what you just said. When you say sooner rather than later, are you saying that there could be a possibility that we see him in 2025?
There could be a possibility. I'm
Ooh.
not saying I'm not saying that's for sure, but like at the end of the day, a lot depends on who he fights, right? So um I believe that the more active AJ is going into a big fight at in the middle end of next year, the better position he will be in terms of his own performance. So that's something to consider as well. Obviously, money's money, but that's not really the motivator right now. The motivator is to get him 110% before we fight a Tyson Fury, Usyk, a Dubois. I don't know who it's going to be, a Parker, whoever that's going to be. And to do that, he needs to get himself in a groove. So it all depends on who the fight is. Obviously, it's been very well documented of an opportunity in Africa. There's been an offer from Ghana. There's now an approach from Nigeria, other countries around the world. But I just think he's excited to fight. I don't think he's even thinking about who he's fighting at the moment. It's just like, I just want to get in there, wrap the hands again, do the walk, let the hands go. and get on a bit of a roll. So, the original plan, maybe one fight, then Fury, and maybe we have a couple of fights. I don't know, but um, activity definitely the key of what AJ is looking at to get himself back in the groove.
Would you say that the most likely situation is that he, whether it's Ghana or Nigeria, that he does fight in Africa for his next fight? Do you think that's more
I
than
don't,
like?
I don't think it's a given, but I think it's something that definitely appeals to, of course, AJ, us as well. I think it's an incredible story. I mean, I think what's happening out there is really interesting. I mean, you saw the show in Ghana recently. It looked fantastic. It was wild. Like the energy, the atmosphere. And I believe there's a show tonight, right, in Nigeria, is it?
Oh, it's on Wednesday, in Lagos.
Wednesday. Oh, you're going, aren't you?
Yes,
Yeah.
I might be
Again, I
already
think
there. I might be already there. I might be already there.
he might be already there. Okay. I'm not sure what that means, but I don't know why um this hasn't happened earlier, but it's happening now and it's happening quick. And I think it's brilliant that there's another region investing in boxing. And listen, an AJ fight in Africa would be historic. So that's something that we would really like to do, but we'll see what happens. We've obviously got one eye on, all this planning of these fights coming up is great, but what is the end goal? What is the bigger picture? And my conversations with AJ was, what do you want? And he said, I want to be world heavyweight champion again. That's the fire inside of me. Of course, if I can fight Fury, I'd love that. And if I can fight him for the world heavyweight title, be a dream come true. But he's really driven at the moment and focused. Listen, he's and I know everyone will say, oh, he's up his arse. But he's just one of the great role models, competitors. I mean, his mind does not stop about boxing and about trying to improve. And it's inspirational, the whole time out there just working on getting better, improving. And I mean, I think it's fair to say pretty much camp started, you know? And I think that's very exciting for boxing that you're going to see AJ back in the ring very soon.
When the talk for Africa was first come about, one name that was mentioned back then, I just wondered if they're still in contention, was Tony Yoka. Is that still a
Do you know
possibility?
what? The name comes up all the time. Like, I don't know where it came from, but yeah, I mean, the answer is in a pool of, I don't know, 10 fighters. Yes, he's in that pool. Probably. I mean, somewhere around it. Look, the first fight back is not going to be Fury, Usyk, Dubois, Parker, Moses, I don't know, Ruiz.
Emmanuel Leo, yeah.
Who?
What do you mean who?
Who?
Emmanuel Leo.
Oh, he's no, he retired after the AJ fight.
Yeah, actually, no, I did know that.
He did.
He was
So
at
yeah,
that as well.
it's it's going to be a proper fight, but it's not going to be one of the top five and maybe even not top seven, eight. I don't know, but it's going to be a proper fight. But it all depends on the plan. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the bigger picture plan. And when you're planning something like this, you're not really just going, "Oh, who's he fighting first?" You're actually planning out probably the next three fights, and who we fight in fight three might even determine what we do in fight one and two.
So Nikita's comments recently regarding the AJ fight. Can you make comment on that?
What was it? What did he say?
Well, correct me if I'm wrong. Did he not say that there's still like an agreement for him to fight Jake Paul next year still?
Oh, there's not an agreement, but there's an agreement in such as if the deal was right, and if, which in terms of all the discussions so far, the deal would be right. And more importantly, if there was an agreement on the broadcaster, because don't forget AJ is exclusive to DAZN, so if that could be worked out, you got to fight. The issue is what we're not going to do is wait for the Gervonta Davis fight to see how he gets on. Because if he gets hurt or if he gets buzzed or if he gets beat, obviously we can't do the fight because he's just lost to a 5'7", 135 pounder. So how can you fight a 6'8", 250 pound wrecking machine monster? You just can't do it. So, I don't know if the timing's going to work out on that. But listen, we're always open to fighting Jake Paul because, of course, it's an easy night's work for a lot of money. So that always sounds good to me.
Coming back to these 10 opponents that you were making
You-
reference to,
Like, I mean,
what?
you can't take everything I say.
I
Like, and
believe everything you
so,
say.
so these 10 opponents, who are they? It's like, I don't know. I just said, I
No,
don't know.
I'm just,
The 10 opponents, like, just plucked it out of the
I
sky.
know, but
Like,
you said,
oh, these 10, which 10? Your number one is
is Bacoli in there?
Bacoli.
Yeah,
I would say yes,
that would make great sense, wouldn't it?
of a top 10. Yeah.
Like
That's not, listen,
Congo,
that's
Nigeria, that makes sense.
that's not an easy fight. I mean, you got a Jagba as well,
Yeah.
Nigerian, another great fight. That's not a, Martin Bacoli. Forget people taking the mickey out of him and coming overweight and this and that. That ain't a tough fight. Martin Bacoli's a good fighter, and you just got to ask yourself, having been out the ring for what will probably be 15 months or so, is that the right fight to come back into? Maybe.
Right, so that's 3 of the 10. Try and work out.
Yeah, expensive. Yeah.
All right, go on, we'll leave a bit of mystery to it. Um, right, so yeah, that's AJ. Possibility that we could see a little slip in on the end of 2025 then, which is quite exciting. Possibly.
I didn't say that. You said, is there a possibility that he could fight this year? And I said,
Yes.
yeah, there's a possibility. That's it. I mean,
That was your whole, ooh, sooner rather than later. Ooh.
well, January's sooner than probably
Oh, that
expected.
you said January anyway, but then you made reference.
February, March. I don't
Earlier.
know.
Could be earlier.
People probably get bored about me talking about a potential return of age. Like, and it's not even my fault. I wasn't sitting here in a hotel room in Riyadh phoning you up going, mate, give me a buzz and ask me about AJ. Did you watch BKFC last night?
I've watched bits of it. I mean, I was going to, I would want you mentioned it, might as well talk about it. I mean,
I don't know.
it's not my thing. I don't know if it's your thing. The
I
whole
don't mind. I don't mind it. I don't. But I was watching James DeGale in there, and I think Chunky's. I mean, he's one of the great British fighters. I mean, he was Olympic gold medalist, two-time world champion. I'm in there. I'm watching it, going, "What are you doing?" And I think after about 30 seconds, he's going to himself, "What am I doing?" I mean, he's fighting a bloke. He's pouring him in the face. He's nutting him. He's elbowing him. He's all cut up everywhere. For what? I don't know how much he got, but I bet it weren't a lot of money. But I don't mind the product, but it's not. You watch some of those fights and like it just shows you how great boxing is. How great boxing is.
Okay. Do you know what? I still haven't finished off your thing,
What thing?
your greatest showman.
What?
I know.
Listen, I've got to be honest with you.
I've only watched 3 episodes of it.
That's an absolute liberty.
I will finish it. I will. I will finish it. Like I'll
I've
finish
got to
it.
be honest. The response has been absolutely incredible. And I'm going to say this, and I know not a lot of people are going to feel sorry for me, but I've spent the last, it wasn't too bad at the beginning, maybe 10 years of my life being abused every day, right?
Right.
I've never had so many positive comments. I mean, don't get me wrong, they weren't really from fight fans, but they were just from a totally new audience of people saying the nicest things. And I'll tell you what, it was so refreshing. And it actually makes me think. I said something in the doc, and it's so true because a lot of fighters and people in the game actually reposted it, which was, I think, and you might agree with this, boxing and its environment, and sometimes its toxicity can give you a little bit of a distorted view of life, of what life is like. Do you not agree with that?
I totally agree with that.
Because I'm getting all these comments and I'm thinking, I never get comments like this. Like, and I'm not moaning about it because it is what it is, but I just feel like for some reason, seems like just boxing in general just brings out the anger in people. Like in terms of the comments, like their attitude. And obviously the sport and the business itself, it is frustrating because loyalty is quite thin and it's very competitive. But yeah, I don't know. It was very, very endearing to read the comments. It really made me feel fantastic.
Once I've completed it this week, I will definitely watch it this week. I like watching your old man on it more than you, to be honest with you.
He's actually had a lot of like,
Yeah.
yeah. I think people might have just felt a little bit sorry for me as well because he's pretty savage with me.
I think people don't probably realise that, like that, the way you and your dad speak to each other is so accurate to actually how it is. Like, because I've been obviously around you and your dad
Yeah.
does talk to you like that, and you talk to your dad like that. It's not like
Yeah.
that stuff isn't like, oh, let's turn it up now for the cameras. Like, your dad is actually, yeah,
I think that my dad's a great humbler, isn't he? Like, he'd never let me get carried away or ahead of myself. And that's probably, I think it's probably one of the best qualities he's instilled in me. But that's life, isn't it? You can be absolutely buzzing and flying, and it's going to change. Thus, the great saying, I believe, King Solomon, which is, this too shall pass. And what that actually means is that most people think that is actually talking about bad times, but it's also talking about good times.
yeah,
So, yes, when you're having a bad time, the quote, this too shall pass, is a great quote because it can really help you saying, look, just hang in there. Like it may feel bad right now, but it won't feel bad forever. But actually, this too shall pass is also a reflection of when things are going well and to make sure you stay humble and keep your feet on the ground and know that the good times actually aren't going to last either. And that, my friend, is otherwise known as life.
you're only as good as your last show, Edward. Just remember that.
Just listen, you just know, life is all over the place, isn't it? But that I like that. This too shall pass, good and bad. Be ready.
Very accurate. Um, right. Obviously, last time I saw you was that really quiet press conference in London for you back
Mm.
then.
Oh, have we not spoken since then?
Right.
Oh,
We've spoken, but we've not done an interview since that day. So
funny actually.
can you let us know?
Mate, when I was in Dubai,
Yeah.
he
Oh,
was
he's
training.
supervised, isn't he, Chris?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he trains in Umar's gym as well, right? So I said, oh, it'd be funny if he turns up while I'm down there. And last night, well, yesterday, Saturday, yeah, I was going to go down the Kamani Club, Umar's gym, to train. And they said, Eubank's training in there. And I was like, so? And they're like, no, I think because he's got all his team. I was like, so I had to go and train somewhere else, which was a shame.
Oh, so you stopped from going there because he was in there?
Doesn't stop, but they said Eubank's training in there tonight. It's like small, it's not like
Yeah.
a massive commercial gym. And I went, that's cool. I'll go and train in there and all. It was like, maybe we'll go elsewhere. So yeah, my
Would you,
old mate
what would
is
you,
training.
what would have happened if you'd gone in there and he was in there? Would you have spoken to him or not?
Listen, I would have gone, oi, oi, look who it is. No, but that's exactly how I would deal with this situation. I'd go, oi, oi, look who it is. Eubank. And he would, because he's like, and most people in that situation would go, oh, fuck, here he is, big mouth or whatever. He would just go and turn his nose up at me. So,
Did he what? Obviously, a lot was said. We've spoken about this anyway, but what has happened? Right, let me just ask straight. Have you taken anything further with the comments that were made by Chris Eubank at the press conference?
Yes.
Okay, and how is that going, or what's an update on that? Or kind of,
Ongoing. Ongoing. Listen, it can be solved very easily, but the problem with Chris is he's extremely stubborn. So he knows deep down, oh, I mean, unless he's just a complete idiot, that Matchroom, me, whoever, and whoever the accusations were against, which were Robert Smith and Conor Ben as well, that of course, none of us would ever stop an ambulance or deliberately slow him down and get into the I mean, it's just the most ridiculous thing. But he said it, and what needs to happen is he needs to retract his statement. But it's just that's Chris, he would rather than and most people just go, listen, fair enough, I shouldn't have said that, but I still think you're a prick. No problem. But you just can't do that, and especially again, I know that people say, oh, Hearn's always rattled. This is our company. And this is our life that we've built this reputation in this business. And you can't make accusations like that. Because when he did your interview, he said if it was more serious, I or someone could have lost their life. And you're accusing me of stopping an ambulance to help someone get medical treatment. It's bizarre. But it is what it is. And he's not sensible enough sometimes just to go, and then so it will just progress, and then we'll see where we get to.
can I ask you a question about this? Chris Eubanks obviously said what he said. Are you disputing that that situation happened? Forget who's to blame for this, but are you disputing that that situation happened? He said that he couldn't get out for 20 minutes, right? Or the barriers had stopped him from going out. Are you disputing that happened, or you're not disputing that happened?
What I'm saying is there is a full log of events from the emergency services, which there has to be, and the British Boxing Board of Control, right? Now, what happens with him or the ambulance waiting actually for his people and whatever else is in that log? That once you're in an ambulance, I can't, I mean, obviously the British Boxing Board of Control have medical requirements for the evening, of which that is to provide these kind of services, paramedics, emergency services. Once you get in the ambulance, I can't, you know, control where the driver goes, whatever happens. So I believe, having spoken to Tottenham Hotspur, that the driver went to the wrong exit or something, and then the club had to come up and open that exit for him or something like that. It's all in the log. But I'm not saying I'm not concerned by that because obviously you need to make sure that, you know, or the emergency services need to make sure that you can get to the hospitals as soon as possible. But if you listen to what was said, it was an accusation that me and Matchroom deliberately delayed the ambulance service to stop him from going to the hospital, which is just the most outrageous comment. You know me, right? You know some of the shit that's been said about me and will continue to be said about me. I don't really give a fuck. And most of the time, I'm really not that bothered. But what I'm more bothered about, and it's happened with a few people, is when something that my dad and me and our family have built for decades to build a reputation of integrity. And he may say, oh, scumbag this, integrity that. Speak to people within boxing. Our record is like it's invincible. We don't knock fighters. We've never not paid fighters. We deliver what we say, right? And you just can't. If you care about anything in life, you can't not stand up to those comments. So yeah, it's quite important to me that there's an apology and a retraction. I'm not saying I'm suing you for damages and millions of pounds. Maybe we'll see where that goes, but that's not what's been requested. What's been requested is you just have to say you got it wrong, mate, and you shouldn't have said it. That's all. But like I said, the stubbornness probably won't allow him to. And if that is the case, then we will progress and continue.
Do you know anything about like the board's look on what the
No,
mate
I would think
he
I
made
would think
out
that's
on the
I would
subject?
I would be shocked if they weren't taking legal action. Shocked. because it was the same accusation to the board.
Could they
And the
stop him from fighting, like take his license away off those comments, or is that
you'd have to speak to Robert Smith. But I don't. The answer for me is no. But I mean, he did call Robert Smith a scumbag and a toad. I mean, but unfortunately, this is the world that we live in, where free speech and all that. You can make up stuff, you can lie, and you can say what you want. But sometimes there will be repercussions. So
a lot on the press conference? I didn't speak to you about this. A lot was made of Eubank interrupting you. Well, at one specific point, and I've watched this back a few times now, and obviously I was there at the time. Looking back on that, I, I don't see Eubank purposely interrupting you talking about Ricky Hatton. What's your take on that now? That kind of that
I don't
moment.
know. Some other thing he said that I was uh, talking about Ricky Hatton to make him look bad. I mean, it's just like you call me a scumbag. Something to say. I mean, anyway, I said to you, and I said in multiple interviews, you can play it back, that at the press conference, I will be addressing Ricky Hatton. Did I or did I not say that in our
Yes,
interview?
you did say that to me
Right.
beforehand. Yeah,
So it's not a game or a tactic that I was always going to say, just want to echo what we've seen, what a great fighter, great man, blah, 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 whatever. When I started to do that, actually, as soon as I started to talk, he started to interrupt me. So I gave him the option and I said, Chris, I just want to say give me 30 seconds about Ricky Hatton, and then you can do what you want. And he wouldn't let me speak. That's it. It's his choice. And I don't think he's doing that deliberate I should never back him. But I think he's just in that mode by
yeah,
then. Do you know what
that's
I mean?
what I
He's
thought.
not, yeah, he's just going, whatever, whatever. I'm blah, 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 blah. But I did say that.
Yeah, he blocked
And
out.
I'm not, I'm not coming out and saying he's a disgrace because he wouldn't let me talk. I just think he was in that mood where but I did say to him, I'm going to talk about this now, please. And he still wouldn't let me talk. But I think he's, in that mode, he's just
Blocked
like,
you out. You probably like a load of white noise to him at that point, and I'm being serious. You probably were. You probably, as soon as he was going to stop you from talking, regardless of what you were talking about, he was just in
yeah,
that.
probably. Yeah, I'll give him the benefit of that. But I did say to him, I did give him the opportunity to. I said, I'm going to talk about this now if you'd let me, and he wouldn't stop. So whatever. But I'm not calling him out on that. It is what it is. But I just felt like you know no one else. Obviously, they played the VT on Ricky Hatton, but Eubank weren't going to talk about Ricky Hatton. Bomac weren't going to talk about Ricky Hatton. Tony was just going to answer. So I just felt like
Mm.
it's something. And I said in 5 or 6 interviews before, I think it's important we talk about Ricky Hatton, and I'll be doing that at the start of the press conference. It's not. But anyway, it is what it is. It was another entertaining press conference, and tickets are flying, and we're going to have another sellout at Tottenham Hotspur.
The undercard was announced for. There was a couple of fights that weren't on there that we were expecting.
Which ones were they?
Uh, Gwyn and Vong rematch.
No, I think
Is that not one of the rumored fights on the card?
no, it was there was there's a there was a list which was proposed, probably like 12 fights, and that fight is either going on our November card, or it was going to go there,
Okay.
and it's now going on our card. So
What's your card?
there'll be a show that we're announcing end of November
In
in
the
the
Okay. Was that on the Asia undercard?
UK. AJ's not fighting November 29 in England. There you go.
Um, Show update. Give us a little run of what you can tell. What's been announced. So
We'll finish the conversation on the undercard for Ben Eubank, shall we?
yes, actually, sorry.
All right, I'll do your job for you. Jack Catterall against Echo Esserman.
Yes.
What a fight. What a fight. I mean, obviously, Jack beat Josh, Echo beat Josh. Echo's a real strong 147 pounder. Obviously, Jack's just had one fight at the weight, which was Harlem Eubank. And I think it's a tremendous fight. Adam Azim against Abdulayev. A really interesting fight with Ishmael Davis and Sam Gilly. I mean, Ish is like a cat with nine lives. I mean, I've got to be honest with you, and I love Ish. He swum the channel here. I mean, he got beat in a great fight with Kevin. You know, big respect to both of those guys. And this fight just popped up. It was ordered by the British Boxing Board of Control for the British title. And, Ish is ultimately coming off three defeats. Two of them were at world level. But I texted him the other day and he said, just want to say thanks for the opportunity. And I said, mate, you better win this fight, mate, or you're in serious shit. And it's a great fight with Sam Gilly. He was a good fighter as well. So that's a really good domestic fight. Interesting one, Richard Riakporhe against Tommy Welch, if I'm
Yeah,
honest.
I thought that was
I
it.
mean, Tommy Welch, I believe he's managed by Eubank and Napa. So, they got him on the card. It's a big step up for him. Riakporhe's a good fighter. So, yeah, it's going to be a great night.
Okay, right, just a few things to run through with you before I do let you go to bed.
Thank you, mate.
I know it's ain't really your concern, but obviously, we love doing this. Have you heard something about Chisora and Dubois?
No,
You've not ever heard that being mentioned at all?
no,
Okay.
no.
Obviously, Frank's
No, as I understand it, I know that they're talking about maybe him fighting in December or something. I don't know, but I've not.
13th, where Talma and Chisora are going to
Yeah,
obviously.
heard that, but not heard Dubois.
Okay.
Yes.
Just a loose thing. Have you spoken to Canelo?
No,
Did you message him? Oh, okay.
it's a bit awkward, really, because I I kick myself a little bit if I'm honest, but it's very hard because I love Canelo and I respect him a lot. I knew Crawford would beat him. I just knew it. And I backed Crawford the whole way. And just at the weigh-in, I thought, oh, Canelo looks good. No, maybe Canelo. And the fight played out exactly how I thought the fight would play out. So, yeah, I haven't spoken to him.
What's your pound for pound list at the moment? Top five?
Alexander Usyk, Terence Crawford. I've got see, Inoue, Bam, and Bivol.
Mm.
Very close. I give Inoue the respect. I mean, it was, I think MJ fought the wrong fight and didn't start. He started too late, but respect to him, and I probably put Inoue three and then Bam or Bivol. No, I mean, Bivol's beaten Canelo and Beterbiev. So I'm going to say Usyk and Usyk Crawford, very, very close. I actually it was Ish the other day who was like sort of debating with me or not happy with my pick that Usyk was above Crawford. This is the reason why. I feel like Usyk has more wins over elite guys in their prime,
Okay.
right? So I think that Crawford, from an IQ perspective and pound for pound, may be better than Usyk. It's very like they're both geniuses, right? But I do think that Crawford is the most skilled fighter on the planet. I just feel that when you're looking at the resume, the elite wins from Crawford against guys in their prime is not as impressive. So, like, if I said to you, who did Crawford beat who was in his prime and like 100% firing?
Errol Spence.
No, definitely not.
What?
Errol Spence hasn't fought since. Errol Spence had a
When he fought Errol Spence?
Yes, Errol Spence was no way at the top of his game. He was coming off, problems. He was coming off a horrific car crash. He had a retina tear. He was nowhere near the fighter that he was. He wasn't. Fact.
All right.
It was still a good fighter, but he wasn't
But would
fresh and
you say prior to Canelo, the most obviously the notable name on Crawford's resume was
that's what I said to him. But I said to Crawford, tell me your best win. This is before Canelo. And he said Ricky Burns.
at the time, yeah.
That's what he feels was his best win of his career so far. Right? Ricky's a great fighter, three division champion, but he's not a he's never been a pound for pound elite guy like that. So what I'm saying is who has Crawford beat from the pound for pound list? Now the answer is Canelo Alvarez. But Canelo Alvarez and maybe Errol Spence at the time was probably somewhere towards the back end of the top 10. But when he fought Sean Porter, when he fought Kell Brook, when he fought Amir Khan, when he fought Gamboa, when he fought Benavidez, when he fought, I mean, Benavidez not even an elite guy. But, it's important that you get what I'm saying, which is I think he is the most skilled fighter on the planet. And it's not his fault because he could have beaten those real elite guys in their prime, but he never got to fight them. And then when I look at Usyk and I go, Fury, who I believe was in his prime, he was, right up there at the top of his game. AJ, talking 2 or 3 years ago, Dubois, who's a young man, and particularly the second victory against Dubois because he was firing on all cylinders. But even when you go back to cruiserweight, he was beating those guys in their backyard, right? Bradis, great fighter, beat him in his backyard. Gasayev beat him in Russia. Bellew beat him in Manchester. All of these guys, I just think he pips it, but it's very close. So in answer to your question, Usyk, Crawford, Inoue, Bivol, bam.
You saw the rings top 10 heavyweights, yeah?
Mhm.
What do you think about Joshua not being in there? Is that on activity? Is that fair or not?
Is that correct? The ring, or was that the IBF? Wasn't it?
No, the Ring's latest heavyweight rankings. Ajagba re-enters at number 10,
Mm.
and Joshua's dropped out due to inactivity.
Oh, what? Because he's been out for a year.
Yeah, so it's Usyk, Fury, Parker, Cabell, Dubois,
If you
Hrgovic,
get
Walker, Zhang.
if you get pulled out after a year, then there's nothing you can do about it. But read the list to me. Oh, this is my list.
Right, so
Usyk,
Usyk, yep, Fury 2. No, sorry, they put Usyk as champion, yeah.
yeah,
Fury 1, Parker 2, Cabell, Dubois, Hrgovic, Waldley, Zhang, Bakoli, Italma, Ajagba.
yeah. I, why is Fury in there? When did he last box? He's retired, isn't he?
We boxed in December.
Right. So what do they do? Put retired fighters in there, or
I don't know. I'm just
I think you should take that out with Rick Reno, Saatchi boxing.
okay.
Why retired fighters in your rankings?
Okay. Um,
But in answer to your question, if AJ hasn't been out for 12 months, I would go number one AJ. I would go number one Usyk. If you're keeping retired fighters in, number two Fury. Do you know what? I think it's very harsh putting Dubois necessarily below Parker just because he lost to Usyk. You know what I'm saying? Like Parker,
got a good run.
yeah, Parker beat Wilder, Parker beat Zhang, Parker beat Bakoli, who did have 24 hours notice, but Parker's a quality fighter. But I think all of those guys like AJ, Parker, Caballero, maybe even Dubois now he's got beat, and listen, and Fury's coming off two back-to-back defeats. I think the great thing about the heavyweight division is all of those guys, probably, to be honest with you, outside of Usyk, can all beat each other.
Mm. I'll do
Ah, is that it?
two more questions and you're done. Thank you, mate. Appreciate it as always. Right, a show clash, a
Yeah.
heavyweight show clash that doesn't have nothing to do with you.
Yeah. So what is it? The BBC
Yeah, it's TKV and Clark.
Fraser Clark, yeah, again, and
And
up head to head with Wardley, and
apparently, the show the main event times are not going to clash, but
it doesn't really matter. The reality of the situation is this: BBC show, great viewership, but the people that would be buying Wardley and Parker are buying it regardless because they are boxing fans. Does that make sense?
right,
So the people that are tuned into BBC, great for boxing because you get a lot of casuals that don't go to boxing or don't really follow boxing. It's great to introduce them to the sport. But the people that are buying Wardley and Parker are not no longer buying it because they're going to watch TKV against Fraser Clark. Does that make any sense to you?
right. So if they're watching it anyway.
Yeah, because if you follow boxing, you're watching Parker Wardley. You're not watching Fraser Clark against TKV. But if you're, don't forget those terrestrial broadcast channels generate a big casual audience because there's a lot of people sitting at home just tuned in on a Saturday night. It's like the Channel 5 boxing audience. The difference is those people watching are not necessarily people that are going to affect the economy of boxing. Hopefully, they can get into the sport through watching it, but generally, it's a different kind of demographic. And I don't know if I've explained that well enough for people to understand. But what I'm saying to you is that people that are tuned in on Sky Sports watching boxing, or particularly on the Zone, are people that are spending money on the sport, buying tickets, buying pay-per-views, buying subscriptions, you know, and sometimes that audience on terrestrial TV is different. It's a slightly older demographic, and it's more of a casual audience, which is also great for the sport. But what I'm saying is if you're watching the Zone and you're watching, if you're a boxing fan, you're watching Wardley against Parker. You're not watching the other one. You know what I'm saying? So I actually don't think the audience in that respect will be affected.
Oh,
But it's still shit. And it
oh.
always is. I mean,
Do you know what? The worst one though, never going to be topped. Is when you
oh
done.
yeah, Carl Frampton against Josh Warrington. And what was my one?
You're white.
Oh yeah.
I tossed a coin in Frank Warren's office and Frank won, so I was there.
Oh, there you go.
All right, Dave Allen coming up very soon. Same night.
Massive, massive. Next up, it's the
You can
big
show clash yourself.
what? I know. The Zone wanted a big night of boxing. We gave it to him, but I'm a bit buggered. Um, so October 11th is a great night. I mean, I've got to be honest, Dave Allen against Makhmudov, the numbers, we're nearly at 8,000. It's going to be electric. I'm so excited for Dave. Great card. Janae Boston against Fawaz rematch. Josh Padley against Bellotti. Great card. And then in Philadelphia, of course, Boots against Lima. Yeah, so looking forward to that. And it's nearly coming around. Bloody, it's nearly next week.
Yeah.
Oh, it's been nice. I had like 3 weeks of no shows.
I like your setup, your new setup.
Which one's that?
Pressure setup.
Good, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm really happy with the rebrand. I mean, I think the presser stuff, the weighing stuff, the logo,
You're like trying to do an actual film set, yeah. Right.
got a big apparel range coming out soon. You're going to really like it.
I will, or just the people will.
Sorry?
I will like it, or the people would like it.
You will like it, but everyone will like it.
All right. All right, Eddie. Last thing, can you just repeat what I say, please?
Go on then.
Hi guys. Hi
You
guys.
want me to plug the video?
No, just say, click the link downstairs. No, click the link below
Here to watch the video.
to watch. Yeah, nearly probably 45 minutes of Coogan Cassius and Eddie Hearn. Sell it to me, baby.
Good evening, all. myself and Kugan Cassius live and exclusive from Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Click the link below to watch 45 minutes of total bollocks.
Get up there. Um, Eddie Hearn, thank you very much
No
for
worries.
your time. I don't know when I'll next see you, but keep us posted. I'll chase you for another week.
All right. Take care, all.
See you later.
Over and out.